In your headlines, 7 Stars' Christmas tree lighting, an update into the investigation of the deceased man found in Q Town, and a look into the Consumer is King campaign launch. From the PTV Broadcasting Headquarters in Providenciales, your #1 source for news, I'm Erica Pinales, delivering the latest from across the country this Wednesday, December 8th, right to your door. Newswatch starts now. In today's top story, the Department of Trade, Industry and Fair Competition, Ministry of Finance, Trade and Investment organized the Consumer is King campaign launch this past Monday, December 6th. Newswatch brings you more. From a press release, we gathered that the Turks and Caicos Islands Consumer Protection Ordinance was passed by the House of Assembly in 2016. It was subsequently amended and entered into force on February 24, 2020. The objective of the ordinance is to make provision for the protection of consumer interests in relation to the supply of goods and services in the Turks and Caicos Islands. As the institutional guardian of consumer rights in the Turks and Caicos Islands, the Department of Trade, Industry and Fair Competition, and the dissemination of accurate information in the marketplace. With this in mind, the department kickstarted its public sensitization campaign under the theme, The Consumer is King, on December 6, 2021, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Beaches Resort Turks and Caicos in Providenciales. The campaign launch featured presentations from high-level speakers about the Consumer Protection Ordinance, including the Honorable Charles Washington Mizik, Premier of the TCI, as well as the Honorable Erwin J. Saunders, Deputy Premier and Minister of Finance of the TCI. Sources tell us that throughout the event, participants were provided with the opportunity to learn more about the key provisions of the ordinance, including the consumer complaints mechanism, as well as to share their views on the impact and application of the ordinance. We're informed that, importantly, the event was grounded on the concept of inclusivity. Every individual who resides in the TCI is a consumer and has rights which must be respected. Consequently, the launch brought together approximately 100 stakeholders from all across the TCI, including retailers, service providers, government ministries and agencies, academia, private sector organizations, civil society organizations, and the press. They added that the Department of Trade, Industry, and Fair Competition will partner with several other government departments that are already actively engaged in other aspects of consumer safety in the TCI. Sources say that immediately following the campaign launch, the Department of Trade will host a series of informational exchanges across the TCI to educate consumers and providers about their rights and obligations, respectively. The Department of Trade tells us that they were in Grand Turk and Salt Key on December 7th. They'll be in North and Middle Caicos on December 8th and South Caicos on December 9th, Providenciales on December 10th. Police released an update into the investigation of the man found deceased in Q Town on Monday morning. We have the latest for you.
Police have now identified the man found near Timber Crest in Q Town on Monday morning from what appeared to be a gunshot wound. The man is said by police to be of dark complexion with a low haircut and was approximately 5 feet 10 inches tall. He wore a red polo shirt, blue jeans, gray sneakers at the time his body was discovered. While the victim has been identified, police have withheld a name and further details as an investigation has been launched into this unusual case, where it seems the victim's death may have had limited witnesses due to the nature of his discovery. The community of Q Town is stricken with concern, and persons are demanding answers after going over scenarios of the incident, the way the individual was found, and the possibility of minors in the area stumbling across such an insensitive and alarming crime. Has that community on guard. Anyone with information is asked to call police at 911.
It's time for a quick break. When we return, more News Watch.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to News Watch. Fortis TCI has introduced 3 new solar customers as part of the company's renewable energy program. Take a look. Community Fellowship Center, the Salvation Army, and the Long Bay Storage are newest Fortis TCI solar customers. The 3 are part of the utility-owned Renewable Energy UORE program to increase the clean energy footprint in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Together, the 3 will add 509.6 kilowatts of solar photovoltaic to the electricity grid in 2022. Agreements were signed in September with representatives from Community Fellowship Center for a 185.22 kilowatt peak photovoltaic system with a projected annual production of 247.4 megawatt per hour. A 15.68 kilowatt peak photovoltaic system will be installed at the newly built Salvation Army headquarters on Leeward Highway with a projected annual production of 20.35 megawatt hour. The agreement with Long Bay Storage entails a 308.7 kilowatt peak photovoltaic system with a projected annual production of 433.9 megawatt hour. These new installations will help lessen the amount of fuel required for energy production and collectively will assist the country in avoiding 500 metric tons of CO2 emissions. Ruth Forbes, President and CEO of Fortis TCI, thanked the company's newest renewable energy participants, noting that science and research continue to reveal that around the world more must be done to reduce greenhouse gases and slow down climate change. She adds that Fortis TCI is committed to leading with action and doing its part to ensure that future generations have every opportunity to enjoy the planet during their lifetimes. According to the CEO, the Salvation Army, the Community Fellowship Center, and Long Bay Storage are great examples of how they can achieve more together and minimize the impact on the environment for the greater good. The utility-owned renewable energy program credits participants monthly for rooftop space over 20 years and grants a share of the system production annually. Fortis TCI currently has 1.6 megawatt of solar on the grid and targets 33% renewable energy generation by 2040 on the country's energy roadmap. That is, the Turks and Caicos Resilient National Energy Transition Strategy, or RNETS. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Iles. We'll be right back when we return your sports authority and weather forecast.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
The Provo Aquatics Club is back at it again. With Coach Ezekiel Hall at the helm, the athletes are back from their most recent swim meet in the Bahamas and are already looking forward to the next one.
It was the 7th annual Barracuda Invitational Swim Meet. It was a meet hosted by the Barracuda Swim Club at the Betty Cannon Swimming Complex in New Providence. It gave us an opportunity to be competitive in a 50-meter complex, in a 50-meter swimming pool.
Commenting on the performance, he said that going into their most recent swim meet, the focus was on the 50-meter and 100-meter events, and that the swimmers performed well. This time around, the girls were able to get back to competing after COVID-19 ended their season last year.
In recent international meets, they did not participate because of COVID constraints and concerns. 3 members of our squad will be attending the World Swimming Championships in Dubai, Abu Dhabi later on in the month from December 12th to the 21st. So we're going to be featured, we're going to be representing the Turks and Caicos Islands, and we'll be featured in the sprint events. That's the 50-meter freestyle, 50-meter backstroke, 50-meter butterfly, and 50-meter breaststroke, along with the 4x50 meters freestyle relay and the 4x50 meters individual medley relay.
Arleia and Sean shared that the meet was a great opportunity to build experience.
The meet was awesome. We got to participate. We got to race against different age categories, and that was fun.
With any meet, it's usually nerve-wracking because you're concerned about how you'll do. But overall, we did a pretty good job. The meet went pretty smoothly. We had no hiccups. Everyone beat their best times. It was really good.
For your Sports Authority, I'm Alik Harvey.
Here's your weather forecast for December 9th, 2021. For the nation's capital, Grand Turk, on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high 82, low 76, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For South Caicos on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high 82, low 76, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For North and Middle Caicos on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high 82, low 77, winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For Parrot and Pine Key on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high 82, low 76, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And on Providenciales on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high 82, low 76, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise 6:17 a.m., sunset 5:08 p.m. For your high tides and low tides, high tides 11:38 a.m., 11:38 p.m. And for your low tides 5:18 a.m., 6:04 p.m. And that's it for your weather forecast. We'll be right back with more News Watch.
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future.
I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
Welcome back to News Watch. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. 7 Stars has got their Christmas tree up and ready for the holidays. On December 3rd, they hosted their annual Christmas tree lighting, bringing Christmas joy and cheer to the community. Take a look. Christmas in the islands doesn't ever really start to feel like it until we get to see it and feel it through the Christmas tree lightings everyone looks forward to each year. On Friday, December 3rd, the Seven Stars Resort brought together boys and girls, moms and dads from all the land to welcome in the holiday cheer. Students came together to perform their Christmas songs and dances as they anxiously awaited Santa Claus's arrival, for they knew he'd come bearing gifts. And so he arrived and shared gifts and Christmas joy, but he wasn't the only one doing the joy spreading, for the Seven Stars staff also had their Christmas buffet for all. Finally, as everyone ate their cookies and clenched to their candy canes, the tree lit up, evoking smiles on the face of every child and adult. As night fell, the streets were filled with shimmer and glee from all the lights coming from the Seven Stars' giant Christmas tree. So many interesting stories have emerged this week, but here's another one that made this edition of Newswatch. Norman Rogers, retired businessman, now dedicated member of our community, gets up every morning to pick up the litter that our beautiful by nature island home is being plagued with.
I started this back when we had lockdown, and we started walking in the morning, and I looked down it and I didn't like what I saw. And all throughout, no matter where I went, I found litter. And I decided back then that there was something that I could do about it. I had the time, I had the inclination, and I had the means to start doing something. So I started picking up litter every morning and started off from the sands and went from the sands down to Seven Stars. Then I would go from the sands off to beaches, and this is all along the roadway. And then I expanded beyond that and started cleaning up.
He's dedicated his mornings to cleaning up what he calls his segments, and even has scheduled days to tend to each one.
And I've got 16 different segments that some get a once-a-week cleanup. Some get every 2 weeks, some get every 3 weeks, some get every 4 weeks. And then we start the cycle all over again. And we've picked up a lot of trash.
Jeffrey Nicholas, local business owner and community service director of the Rotaract Club, expressed that the littering problem here in Providenciales is an ongoing crisis which most people overlook.
So when I first joined NORM, in 5 minutes, I had a bag of garbage, right? And then when I started to pay attention more, I realized that we had a garbage problem, right? So we do weekly cleanups every Saturday. We do different locations all over the island. And we've also done cleanups on different islands. We've done cleanups in North Caicos, Grand Turk, and my good friend Lewis has done a cleanup in South Caicos also. And everywhere has the same issue, right? And we're in the 21st century, where majority of the world is focused on recycling, and we're still focused on not littering, right? And when you come to an area like this, where there's a school behind us, and you have students, right? So when they walk out of school, they see garbage, and it slowly gets into the subconscious that this is okay, because kids are very visual, and we don't want to communicate that message, right?
Rogers stated that he's been cleaning up litter since 2006 on an uninhabited key because, quote, it was getting in my picture taking, end quote. The littering problem in the TCI continues.
I started picking up back in 2006 on, believe it or not, Fort George Key, which is an uninhabited island. And I'd take the boat out there and start picking up trash because the trash was getting in the way of my picture taking. So I started picking it up then. But after, even though while we had lockdown, I would occasionally somebody would stop me and say, "Can I help you?"
Norman expressed that even though there are other persons who do what he does, and even though there are things put in place for garbage collection, there's still so much more we could do to make a difference.
The thing is, we need to educate people not to throw their trash out the window. And being here at the elementary school, we need to start with the kids. It should be part of the curriculum of the children to not litter. We also need to get the hotel association behind us, because the hotel association or hotels are the biggest employers on the island, and they need to teach their employees not to litter.
Rogers informed us about the recycling center's lack of being able to do anything with glass, sharing how it doesn't get sorted and can develop into a bigger problem over time.
At the present time, recycling at the recycling center, they can do aluminum and cardboard and plastic, but they can't do anything with glass. We have, glass is a lot of what we end up picking up, but again, it doesn't get even to the recycling center.
Nicholas gave an alternative way of using glass and how we can even possibly implement it here in the TCI.
We have to sort of push for recycling and expand it a bit. Glass bottle can be turned into jewelry. It can be turned into sand to help make roads, which is better than the natural sand we have, because that, from what I've heard, holds up the water way better than the natural sand, right? But why aren't we investing in those things?
Norman explained that most of the construction taking place on island could implement the alternative idea, which would be a great way to recycle.
The crushed glass could be put right back into the road. Right now they're paving the Jericho Baptist Church parking lot over there. There could be crushed glass in that the tarmac that they're putting down. All the building that's going on, there's lots and lots of buildings. There's a huge project going over at the shipyard, at the end of Long Bay Hills, South Bank. There's cement trucks arriving there all the time, and they're building a lot. They can be going into cement blocks. We use a lot of cement blocks here to build things. And you won't notice a green bottle or some green crushed glass in a cement block, because it gets covered up anyhow with a coating. So you don't see it. But it's a good aggregate to put in instead of crushed stone or something else.
Rogers ended with saying that beer bottles, a large component of what makes up his trash collection, can be reused, thus suggesting that we can do something about it and, I quote, use it rather than just throwing it away, end quote.
I'd like to see more people involved. On the backside, it's I've got one person can make a difference, and you get enough one person's involved, then it's a lot of people making a difference. Yes. So that's what I'd like to promote is some people feel that they can't make a difference, but you can if you get involved and have the desire to do something positive.
That brings us to the end of this edition of The Real News. I hate to leave you so soon, but of course, you can join us right back here every weekday at 6:30 p.m. and tap into our social media platform at www.ptv8tci.com. I'm Erica Pinales, keeping you informed, updated, and affiliated. Until next time.